Hi everybody, it's Marilyn with Cotton and Chocolate, and welcome to Saturday Sampler 2021 Mineral Matrix in Fantasy. So this is our first month. Welcome to all of you who are Saturday Sampler returnees. We are so great that you're joining us once again, and welcome to all of you that are new to Saturday Sampler. We're so glad that you're a part of the program. I'll give you a little bit of entry information this time around to remind those of you how it works, and to inform those of you that are new how it works. So, okay. Every month we have two videos. The first video is the cutting information, sorting out the fabric, what we have, if I have any tips on cutting to make sure that you're successful and that you don't waste any fabric. And then the second video is piecing the block, giving you tips and tricks to make it work out, okay? And then anything we have in the packet. We have fitting 12 months into 11 months. So a few times I'll be letting you know how that's working. This quilt also has a lot of setting. So every quarter you'll be also piecing extra for those setting blocks. So a lot of information will be happening on the video. Every month you have an opportunity to meet with me in person, but we have limited space. So these videos become really important pieces of information. And this time I'll also be talking an intro into the rulers and techniques that I use as well, and running through the pattern and what you're getting the first month. And last year I did a recipe every time. I'm not going to be doing that except for this month, or when it suits me. You know, you just never know what I'm going to do. But my favorite recipe, a lot of you know over the years, is my chocolate caramel brownies. I love them. So it's always right that I start out the year with my favorite brownies. And I'm a lover of brownies. Diet Coke and brownies, it's the best. But also what's good is champagne and brownies. So cheers to all of you to a great 2021. Get your champagne out while you're listening, but not while you're sewing. If I could, I would, but you know how that goes. So, Now these chocolate caramel brownies, I'm just going to give you a hint. I am all for homemade, bake from scratch. I do it all the time, but these are actually from a mix. I know. How about that? Delish. We'll be posting the recipe on our website, right, Jerry?
It's probably already there.
Probably already there, but they're so delicious. You can make them with nuts or without, but you know, we're a little nutty over here, so they're so good. I have chocolate chips in them and caramel and like a lot of super healthy things, so good. No calories. If you break them open, they scatter, so you've got to try them, and they help you sew really well. So that's my bit on the brownies and the champagne, and I'm the Diet Coke, so get yourself set. Okay, now the first month, if you come into the store, you'll get a notebook from us. If you're remote, we're not mailing you a notebook. So sorry, guys. But you all will get the pattern in the pattern pack. We don't poke it with holes, because what I do and what I suggest, as you can see from my pattern, is I put it in page protectors because they're printed really close. And if you hole punch it, you're going to miss some of the words. So, you know, I would suggest putting it in a page protector. So I have mine in a notebook. You'll get a little cover with yours that we print, so you know what's inside, if you'd like to do it that way. But this is what it looks like. And also with that is you get a color card, Mineral Matrix color swatch, because it's printed in black and white. So you need to know what the translation is for your colors, and this is really critical. Put this in the front. You're going to refer to it every single month. Okay? So you have the picture, and then also it has information on how to piece. But I'll be going through this every single month with you. And then, of course, all your blocks and all your setting. Don't lose these. They're really important. You need them every month, okay? So you'll be getting this pattern, the whole deal, the whole shebang, right this month, along with your first pack for your first month, okay? The tools that I use are the 3 tools, and this month we're using all 3. The block lock for half square triangles. I have the 6.5 incher. I love it because then I can do any size up to 6.5 inch. These are for our half square triangles. So we make them big and then we cut them down to size. Yes, it's an extra step, but guess what? They'll turn out perfect. They will, I promise. The folded corner clipper, you're going to see shortly how we use this. I love it. So you can make them traditionally or you can make them my way. I mean, this isn't my ruler, but I would love it if it was, but I'll show you how to use it. And then this is the wing clipper. And again, you make them big and you cut them down to size. You can use a traditional spit it out ruler, or you can use a wing clipper and cut them down to size, and it makes it really easy. I end up using these 3 rulers just about the entire year. So, hey, buy them from us. This is what keeps us in business. This is what keeps your little quilt shops chugging along, okay? We appreciate your support. And this is called the Quilter's Magic Wand, and this helps mark your half square triangles and wax people next to you sewing, Jerry, in case they're giving you cheap advice that you don't like, okay? Rotary cutter with a new blade, a little sew line pencil to mark that erases out if you make a mistake, and check your seam allowance, okay? How do you do that? Well, I cut 3 strips that are 1.5 inches in width each. Sew them together how you typically sew, press them out, and measure the center seam. On the top, it should measure a perfect 1 inch, okay? Perfect. And if it isn't perfect, something went wrong. Either your cutting is wrong, or your pressing is wrong, or incorrect, whatever you want to say, or your seam allowance is incorrect. Even if you have a 1/4 inch foot, you need to adjust the needle. Something went wrong. You need to fix it before you start sewing, or your blocks are not going to come out the correct size, okay? So if I don't adjust my needle, even with my 1/4 inch foot, I have to move it 1 click over to the right on my trusty old Bernina here. Otherwise, my seam allowances are too wide. And guess what? My block is going to end up too small. I have to adjust it every single time I sew, okay? Otherwise, it doesn't turn out right. And so does my husband on his Bernina, okay? So you need to figure it out. You need to test it. And test them. I test it regularly, or once you've gotten it clean and it comes back from the shop, they sometimes move the needle a little bit. So check it before you start. I implore you, please do that. Okay, so that's enough of that. Okay, so now I want to go to block 1. That's the first block that we're doing. That's what it's called, block 1. I know, it's pretty fancy. It's on page 1. And these, you'll get a packet, and these are fabrics 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, and 9 in your packet. Okay, so you have to refer to fabric 1, what it looks like in your color chart. I kind of have a bigger color chart, so I just referred you, I actually took actual fabric swatches so that I could see what they really look like in person. And you might want to do that because, you know, on the page they might look slightly different, especially like sometimes 1 and 2, they look kind of close in color. So I take fabric 1 and I mark them with a sticker, label them so you don't get confused after you cut them. All right. Sometimes you're ending up cutting fabrics the same size. Not in this quilt. I don't remember, but I don't think so. But sometimes you do. So fabric 1, you're going to cut 4 2.5 inch squares. Okay, and mark it. Fabric 2, you're going to cut 4 1.5 by 3.5 inch rectangles and 4 1.5 by 4.5 right here. Fabric 3, 1 5.5 inch square for the flying geese. Fabric 4, you're going to cut 4 2.5 inch squares and 2 3.25 inch squares for half square triangles. Fabric 7 is right here, 2 3.25 inch squares. Fabric 8, you need 4 3.25 inch squares, and they actually call for 4 3 1/8, but actually I would like them 3 inches. they're for the flying geese, and if you're using the wing clipper, that's this increment that you need. Now, these are very close. They look really close in size. So I marked 1 3-inch and 1 3 1/4. Okay? So that way I don't get confused which is which and pick up the wrong one. And then on fabric 9, you need 4 1.5 by 2.5, 4 1.5 by 3.5, and 1 4.5-inch square. So I have them all labeled, marked, and ready to go for sewing. And so I'll see you in the next video, and we'll get right on to piecing. Thanks.